Well, let's start with in general. It's been an up and down season, hasn't it? You know, you've probably struggled to find the consistency as a side. Why do you think that is?
Yeah, I think, for the first half of the season, I think we are getting a lot of games postponed, and it was tough to get momentum going. I think, obviously now I think we've been playing well in bits, but I think goals are going against us, and I think it's things that we need to iron out. But it's been up and down this season. Obviously, it's been an odd season with everything going on, sort of COVID related. But yeah, it's just been difficult to get a bit of momentum going.
How do you think the side compares to last season? You came very close last season to getting promotion in that final game. How do you compare the two sides?
Yeah, obviously I think, when I joined last season, I think it was November time, we had a great run. In terms of the games we played, obviously we had a lot more form. I think last season, going into the end of the season, I think in squads, I don't think there's huge amount of difference. I think it's just maybe last year we were probably more clinical and we had things going for us. I think at the minute we seem to be, think things are dropping and it's not us on the end of it. So obviously, it's frustrating. I think obviously we need to be doing better on that. On the ugly side of the game. But yeah, obviously, so all I can comment is that the form last year was I think what really took us into the end of the season. I think it's been difficult this year with everything being quite start-stop to get any form building.
It's probably a long time ago, but there was a consensus that COVID and the shutdown came really at the wrong time for Notts County. I don't know whether you can recall, perhaps you can, but you were in tremendous form just before that break. And I don't know whether any part of you thinks, what if we were allowed to complete that season and maybe the top spot would have been yours? Do you remember how good form you were in, and do you think what if?
Yeah, I do. Obviously in hindsight, it's you look, we were in great form. I think we're up to third when the league got because cancelled or postponed, and I think we would have been very close at the end of the season if we kept on going to that top spot. But obviously it's disappointing it couldn't have happened. But obviously for health reasons it was a necessity, I guess. But I think that really the form we're in, and it was a very special time, I think, coming into the team and us really going on a good run. So obviously it's very disappointing. Personally, we didn't able to get to finish the season, but obviously it's for good reason.
What about yourself? You've just come back from injury. I just wonder how frustrating the injury was for you last month.
Yeah, it's obviously any injury is disappointing because you're watching the games rather than playing, and it's never nice to be a footballer and not playing. But obviously I was glad to be back against Solihull. Obviously it's the result didn't go our way, but personally it was good to be back in the team and back out there and doing my bit to help us finish as best as we can.
I wonder, with an injury, again, kind of with the COVID question, how hard it is, because normally when you're injured, I guess, you can do a lot of things to take your mind off it and such forth. And I guess, the rehabilitation, my point, I guess, is how different it's been a rehabilitation in COVID times to a normal time. Is it quite different?
I think, our schedule as footballers, it's probably not changed a huge amount. Obviously, we've got a sort of a bubble around us where we get, tested, often twice a week. And, I think our day-to-day job is, I don't think it's been affected huge amounts, obviously, in terms of things like fans and, not being able to, go to the gym or, go out for a coffee or something like that. Maybe, that aspect of it in terms of like the bonding with the lads and all that sort of stuff. But I think in day to day it's been obviously pretty much similar training to it was before COVID.
Well, that's a really interesting answer, because I know last season Neil Ardley, even the season before, when Neil's been in charge of the club, he's had spells where he's done things to bond the team together. Most managers do that. I guess that's one thing that managers can't do. They perhaps have to be a bit more creative to find ways to get team bonding sessions. Yeah,
definitely, and obviously, I think it's a big part. When there's great team spirit around the place, I think it bodes well for good results. At the minute, it's obviously not ideal, and it's quite difficult to get things going. Where there's team exercises, be it bowling or whatever we've done in the past. But it's difficult when things aren't open, and we've got to be quite careful about the protocols and stuff like that. So I can see that side of it has been difficult this season. But yeah, as I said, in terms of training and stuff like that, it's pretty much the normal schedule.
And I wonder as well about how, as a player, are you wanting fans back in the ground? Some players thrive off fans. Some, you can see get nervous in front of fans. What's your take on it? Are you itching to play back in front of a stadium full of fans?
Yeah, personally, I can't wait. I think it creates such a good atmosphere when there's fans involved. Even opposition fans, if they have a go at you and stuff like that, I think most of the players in the team sort of thrive off that. So we're looking to hopefully get the fans back soon and create a bit of atmosphere that can only help us.